Raider Nation, stand up. Please stand up. Cover 3 Deep Raider podcast. Dwayne Douglas here. Podcast of the beautiful shores of the Atlantic. I'm sorry, I keep saying Atlantic. I must want to go home. Pacific Ocean.
You can come back.
Out here,
Come back,
in Southern California. No, it actually snowed like 3 days ago. I'm definitely not going back.
Yeah.
I say all my friends were pissed.
Snow on spring break. Yeah.
Exactly. On the East Coast, we have Monster Mash. Ken, how you doing today?
Hey, yo, I'm feeling good, man. I can't wait to get into this Twitter shit, but I'm good.
Yes, it should be a tweet.
No.
I took a little hiatus from Twitter, but yeah, it's pretty crazy right now. And you know, I think Mark Davis made a statement about what happened.
He did
too, so he did.
Yeah.
Sean in the Pacific, in Paradise,
sir.
Paradise Raider out there. How you doing today?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Yeah, it's gloomy, a little muggy and rainy.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's roll into. I mean, we thought whenever you thought you're just gonna the Raiders, I mean, whenever you think they can't just get any more stupid, their Twitter account tweets out after the George Floyd, and I mean it's really the Chauvin trials because Floyd's not on trial. So after the verdict came in on the officer out there in Minnesota, they tweet out, "I can breathe." Under the Raider check mark.
With the date 4/20.
With the date 4/20/21. So I know it is 4/20. So maybe somebody when the office was doing something on 4/20. But this goes to a long we're as Raider fans we have war against everybody, right? Including our own fan bases, and then we also have a situation where we'll get a player and we're too lazy to Photoshop them in our uniforms, like they're in their old uniforms, like little stuff like that. It's like other teams do it, we don't. But it's just silly. I mean, just insensitivity to the whole situation, but it just no common sense nobody with common sense would tweet that out. I mean, everybody had formal statements. The Broncos, all these other teams, the Sacramento Kings, every sports organization pretty much had a pretty good response to it, and then they fumbled the ball at the 1 yard line. Sean,
Deshaun Jackson
fumbled the ball at the 1 yard line. This team.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how deep I'm gonna go into it. To me,
we'll make it quick.
It's tone deaf. It's ignorant. It was blatantly irresponsible. I've already read, Tayshaun and some of the people that cover the team they've already interviewed him about it. And he explained that was his tweet. That was not anybody else's tweet in this organization. And it was to kind of mirror some of what George Floyd's brother had said about now he can breathe easier knowing blah, blah, blah. To me, that almost makes it even worse that you took his brother's words.
Mark is taking...
Yeah, he's taken full responsibility, saying that's my tweet. It was no one else's. And also said he will not delete it. It will not be deleted. But said it was in wake of, quote, comments from his brother saying that he can breathe easier, blah, blah, blah. Also said he wasn't familiar with the New York Police Department officers responsible for another... I'm not trying to make about another black man that was mishandled, and the I Can Breathe shirts. He said he didn't know about that, which to me is damn near impossible because the entire NBA was wearing I Can't Breathe shirts.
And WNBA.
And he just bought a WNBA franchise. So
yes.
I'm sorry, the Raiders' reputation has been really posturing, doing well with upholding civil and social issues in the past and kind of been, leading the way. But this one's a giant step back, and to not even delete the tweet, I think it's a little problematic that he's kind of doubling down on it, that it was, I use someone else's words and it's just in this essence. It really doesn't matter. I just feel a little slighted by it, and the product of the social media aspect, like you were talking on, Dwayne, has always been bad, but this just seems obscure, just really strange that the owner is taking full responsibility. That was my tweet. So what did you do? Did you contact someone in that department and say, hey, I want you to tweet this out? I don't know, man. I'm done. That's all I got. But
yeah.
No,
I kind of think I kind of think he's taking a bullet for their organization. But go ahead.
No, I think it's just kind of sums up the Raiders in a sense. Can he take some responsibility for the last 10 years? I don't know, but I think first and foremost, I know, like, sometimes I say stupid things like at family dinners, and I try to like you put my foot in my mouth, but yeah, he should definitely, like, he owned up to it. Yeah, but then, if more than half of Raider Nation is calling you out, you should probably think about deleting it, because a good majority of those of Raider Nation is African American, and I know a lot of African Americans were, not just that, but a lot of minorities were watching the outcome of this trial, and I'm on the bus watching it because I want to make sure that they do the right thing here. And there's so many people have so much at stake here, because that meant so much to so many people to make sure that this dude goes, he goes down for this. And for Davis to come out, and I understand, like, he wasn't trying to do something intentional, right, but you messed up, dude. You got to delete it. And but I'm really happy though that the right verdict was made, and I hope this sets a precedent too, because I know there are good cops out there, but there's a lot more bad cops probably, and I hope that this really just the turn of the tide, because it needs to stop, and it breaks my heart, for that family and whatnot. But Mark Davis, come on, man.
Even the team is largely Black African American. Like, to me, if you were gonna try to congruently match the social issue with the verdict and everything, why not turn into your department and choose like a big Black leader that's been with the franchise as a player or former, that's into these social issues, and like maybe let someone else eloquently take the mic.
Marcel Reese.
Yeah, you're
right hand.
That's great. Yeah.
And Mark is a rich white man that is privileged. I mean, come on. I don't remember the "I can't breathe" movement back in, like, it's like, so you're not even, this isn't your role. It kind of shows that he's micromanaging the PR side of how this organization represents itself. So that's the failure. I mean, reach out to Nnamdi Asomugha, Marcel Reese, like people who are Tim Brown.
There you go.
And let them kind of define how the Raiders feel about this thing. It comes from a place of privilege, and that's not your role. That's not your role. Like, and like Ken hit, hey, your on the field product sucks too. So what accountability is happening here?
Yeah. And United _Raiders they just tweeted, delete this tweet for 2021 out there today. So I would concur with that. That just makes no sense. It makes you, it's just a cringeworthy moment. Like,
there you go. Perfect. There you go.
Everybody has that cringeworthy uncle. You're like, oh God, please don't say it. But
like that guy. Guilty. Guilty.
And
don't, not to this level though. I'm sure though.
The tweet won't be deleted. So
I think honestly, it somebody in the organization tweeted, and he, as the leader of the organization, is just taking the hit. I mean, the team who had the first woman, the first African American coach, the first Latino quarterback. I mean, it's Hispanic. I mean, it just seems crazy.
But those things were his father. He had no role in those. Now he's the owner, and he's starting to understand.
He hired Reggie. Call Reggie.
And he's a very call Reggie. But we saw this with the anthem kneeling game in Washington. We've seen Mark, double down a lot with police. I mean, he has, like, he's always been pro cop, pro military, pro. Also, it's not. I just don't think it's his realm, and I don't know. He's just a different person than what was there before. And it's not your job. Here's the thing: it's not your job to politically respond to these issues. But if you are, take the time to think about what it reflects to everybody else. That's the biggest thing. You either say nothing, or you try to come up with something that everyone agrees on. But this is just all bad, man.
Yeah, it's all bad.
It's just like our draft picks.
Yeah. Let's make us happy.
Let's make us happy. So let's go through. This is where we have the possible segue of social justice to the actual Raiders football team on the field. And we're going to do a little mock draft here. We're going to talk about the Raiders and what they're going to do. But before we do that, we're going to alternate picks in this draft. And then we're going to, when we get to the Raiders, we'll all talk about what we think the Raiders are going to do in this draft on the Cover 3D Raider podcast. Thanks for everybody listening out there in Columbus, Ohio, West Sacramento, Compton, and View Park, Scotland out there listening to the Cover 3D Raider podcast. So let's start off with let's go to Hawaii first. And you're the Jaguars, and you're the first player on the board is, I think we know who it is. Their needs are quarterback, tight end, tackle, and safety. So are you taking Trevon Morag for this for this guy?
No,
Andre Cisco maybe.
It's been we're talking about the best quarterback prospects since Andrew Luck, Peyton Manning, and that's Trevor Lawrence. You take him. You've been offing your own talent and players, and you have a good quality. There's Minshew who was there, but this is the time. This is in your division. You make the selection. You possibly have the best quarterback in your division instantly because Watson, whatever's going on, Texans. So easy one. Sunshine. Trevor Lawrence.
Sunshine. Yeah. Let's go to New York and Monster Mash Ken. The Jets are on the clock. We know the quarterbacks who are available. There's been rumors about Wilson, about Fields. Where are they going with this pick?
Well, I know you're going next after me, and I want to kind of shake it up. Am I allowed to pick who I want to pick? I am going to pick a quarterback. Yeah.
Well, it's a quarterback. It's a QB. It's a QB.
And I'm trying to think here. I know Zach Wilson is probably the name.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at Justin Fields, man. I think the Jets could do something with that, just with the culture and. I mean, how much different is Zach Wilson than Sam Darnold? I don't know. I think Justin Fields brings a totally different aspect to the game. Yeah. So I'm going to go with Justin Fields.
Justin Fields. I like that.
I like that.
Not chalk, but, good job.
I like that.
Game. Yeah, I like that. I like that. So if this scenario happens, I think Kyle Shanahan, and I have my issues with Kyle Shanahan. I just feel like he is kind of been anointed like Eddie Murphy movie, The Golden Child, a little bit.
I love it.
He is still 20. Anytime I can make an Eddie Murphy reference on this show, I will. I love Eddie Murphy's comedy. He is 29 and 35 as a head coach. He made the decision to say no. He openly said, "I did not do my homework on Mahomes and Watson." To me, that's almost fireable in its own sense. If you're a quarterback guru.
Oh, yeah.
Also, he said no to Brady. Because we all know Brady's number one team growing up was San Francisco 49ers. It's the one team he would left the East Coast for. So this is absolutely his last chance. I think if this scenario happens, I don't think in any way he would. The Mac Jones stuff, I don't believe Mac Jones is going to be the pick. I don't think you trade three first-round picks for Mac Jones. This scenario, it could have been Fields. It could have been Trey Lance, maybe for a year behind Garoppolo. But if Zach Wilson drops down with him, big arm, mobile, the bootleg action that they love to do in San Francisco, I think Zach Wilson will be the guy for San Francisco.
I like it.
Sean, we're gonna take it to ATL. Get you some lemon pepper wings with Lou Williams from the Clippers.
Hey, I grew up A-Town stomping. Okay,
A-Town.
I'm from the crunk era. Was the pinnacle of my 18 to 22-year-old life. So
calm down, Nelly. Calm down, white Nelly.
It's funny.
Even that too.
Every time I hear somebody talk about Atlanta, I just hear the Usher song. That
song came out the year. All right, but
so Falcons on the board. Back up. The needs are edge, cornerback, safety. What do you feel is the next for them?
I think they go wide receiver. Julio's getting older. He's one of the best that's ever done it. They already have Kevin Ridley, who's absolutely an astonishing player.
Amazing touchdown maker.
They've decided to keep a connection and with Matt Ryan as their starter. They're bringing in new coaching staff. I believe they continue to add explosion around Matt Ryan, and they take Jamar Chase, who I think I think is the best wide receiver in this draft. I know people want to talk about the Bama guys too, but I think they take that. They have their future set up, and that allows them to possibly by the trade deadline this year or in the offseason, if they want to. It would be bad to move on from one of the best players that ever played for the Falcons, but now they could possibly move a Julio Jones type player and have something mended behind him. Jamar Chase, Falcons.
Jamar Chase.
Wow, I like the shakeup. Ooh.
So we should get the draft here. 2021 cover 3 deep mock draft till we get to 17 and the Raiders pick. You got the Bengals. You can go wide receiver. You can go tackle and protect Joe Burrow, who already had an injury already. Guard, edge. Where you're going with they had T. Higgins who had a good rookie year last year. You have Sewell who's going to be who could be there. You got Kyle Pitts. You got Devontae Smith. You got Jalen Waddle. You got Micah Parsons. Where are we going?
With
the Bengals.
I totally thought Sean was going to go with Pitts. With Pitts there because
me too.
I thought he was going to go with Pitts.
Yeah.
And now that makes it more appetizing to jump on that. But Joe Burrow, you got to protect him. You got to go with the best tackle in the game. You got to go with Sewell. You got to go with Sewell on that.
Got to go with Sewell. Yeah.
It's very close though. It's very close, and I think there would be a debate if this was real. Do you take somebody like Pitts, who's probably the best player in the draft?
He's really good. Yeah, he's really good. He's really good. He's really good.
The next, Vernon Davis type of hype.
Yeah. Right? And every time you see clips of him, he's catching the ball away from his body with his hands.
Oh,
he's not like a Ricky Dudley chest catcher. He can.
Ricky Dudley. We can't even. He can catch the ball. Honestly, he looks like a Waller on physical, like on steroids. Just
Waller with I'm trying to think like Waller with a little sprinkle
like
of
Terrell Owens
Johnson
or something.
T.O.
It's just nice.
T.O.
Nice.
Yeah, right. There you go. That's the comp. That's the comp I like. We're gonna find out if it's really Tua time in Miami with the 6th pick in this draft, because there's not going to be an excuse. You're going to have the team is yours. Fitzmagic is in Washington, so he's not going to be there to save you in these games. I think that you got to get them weapons. They could go tackle, they could go guard in a tackle heavy draft. I think that I am torn between Waddle and Pitts, but I think they already have a good tight end. Why not double down on that? Make it, go ahead and get Pitts. Keep him in Florida. Go to Miami. From what, Gainesville to Miami, South Beach. I'll go with Kyle Pitts for the Miami Dolphins.
Wow.
So you got Dan Campbell now out there biting ankles, but hitting kneecaps. He said, right? They have a lot of needs. They have called golf at quarterback. The needs are wide receiver, defensive interior, edge, linebacker, corner, and safety. Where do you see them going? They got Devontae. You got Parsons. You got Lance. You got all these things like that. Where do you see their next move is going to be?
Well, they've had some turnover at wide receiver over the years between, Golden Tate and Marvin Jones and Golladay. I mean, there's different things they've been trying to internally and externally address there. They have a new quarterback. Okay. I for the sake of this, I really think, because the way you guys did this, I think this would be a perfect time for the Lions to trade back. Because there's still tempting quarterbacks on the board. But I'm not gonna go that route and to pretend who's exchanging picks. I do think the Lions take a wide receiver here.
Okay.
I'm going to say they go with Smith and they get a big time playmaker. It doesn't really fit the strategy of the coach they have, who is probably looking more for someone to rip your head off on a pass rush. On an underperforming defense. But I think Smith is too satisfying here to add a lethal player like that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so we look at Devontae Smith, the 65-pound wide receiver.
He's like Deshaun Jackson, man.
He can play. He can play.
He can squivel those hips.
He can play. So we're gonna go to the Dirty South. Go Carolina Panthers. The quarterback, wide receiver, tight end is the need. The quarterback right now is Sam Darnold. At least for the kind of the same situation that the Lions are in. They have Goff for a couple of years. They have Darnold for a couple of years. What do you think about what they're gonna do?
Well, Mac Jones is still sitting out there. Trey Lance is still sitting out there.
Yes, he is.
But I mean, you go with Darnold, Darnold's there. I think you go with another tackle here. I think they got to go with Slater. I think they got to go with Slater.
All right. I appreciate that. Yeah. Go tackle here.
I have a very close
tempted though.
Yeah, I have a very close Carolina Panther friend, and I think he would not be able to live with himself if they didn't take Trey Lance from what he texts me all the time.
Is that the guy? Is that who we had on the show last year?
No.
That's somebody else.
Not somebody else. Yeah.
But I mean, it's close though, because it's just the fact that Sam Darnold was such a high pick and he has a lot of potential. Like it's kind of a waste, and why would you sit? So that's the only reason why it's very tempting. But like with Sean, this is a trade. This is a trade back, I think.
I think so too. I think so too. So it's my turn, right?
Yep.
I believe So we have the Denver Broncos, my favorite blue and orange team. Because I hate all blue and orange teams. So the Broncos here, I want them to keep it going with Drew Lock. It's working out great. Like just keep it going. And I think the one thing I'll say is this: they loaded up on defense. Elway is still whispering in everybody's ear. You do have Jones, you do have Lance still on the board.
They get Lance.
But the reason why I'm not going to go there. They have wide receivers. They drafted other weapons last year.
Yep.
I'm gonna go with the loudest man in the room, and I think Vic Fangio is gonna scream bloody murder if Micah Parsons is not the pick.
Yeah.
So I think new GM. They're trying to get Elway, kick Elway to the curb. I think they will go with Micah Parsons in Denver.
Solid.
With a pick there.
Unfortunate because
I agree.
He'll be trying to take the head off of Jacobs and Drake and Carr and all those guys.
But I would rather have, from a Raiders perspective, I would rather have that than have the madness of if Trey Lance becomes
right, like a Wilson.
Yeah, seriously. That'd be nuts. I'd be nuts. So
Cleveland Farrell will get him, don't worry.
Don't worry about it. Yeah, okay.
Better.
Maybe. Dallas, tight end, edge, cornerback, safety. Who do you feel like will be the next Dallas Cowboy in this draft?
Okay, so this is hard to approach, but the way the picks have gone, I'm pretty confident what they'll do here.
I think so too, but go ahead.
You may not be aligning with me.
Okay.
I think Jerry Jones is crazy, and he does things off shield and off guard. They were able to maintain Prescott and do some things. They need a cornerback.
I like it.
And to me, they take Horn. I mean, he's the best corner.
Really?
There's Surtain on the board. I don't know if they'll go that route.
Okay.
I'm gonna say it's a little bit of a shocker.
Okay.
But they're still taking a first round talent corner, and I think Horn is the guy.
All right, cool.
Because were you thinking Surtain because his flexibility?
It's flexibility, and also he and his father are talking about they only want to pay for the Cowboys. They're trying to pull a Kobe right now.
Right,
so which is like in the NFL, unless you're a quarterback, that doesn't work.
That might, and to your point, that might be a reality because Jerry Jones loves that type of pedigree that caters to his franchise. But I think likes Horn. I think Horn. I think Horn.
That's interesting. So I don't know how the guy from the New York, New Jersey area keeps getting the New York and
I know, right?
I totally did not plan that. It's amazing. It's kind of funny how it came out that way.
Yeah.
So let's roll with the Giants here. The Giants tackle. guard, and edge, but they have a young quarterback.
I got this.
I mean, we'll see what's going on here. What are your thoughts about what they're gonna do?
So I have a really good friend who goes out to Vegas and he bets just random shit. And
that's what you do there.
Yeah, he convinced me before the season started how good the Giants defense was. And I had got them taking a defensive player here, and I know the Eagles might need somebody here, and I think they jump ahead and they kind of ruin it, and they go with they're going to go with you took Horn, right?
Horn, so
yeah.
Surtain.
So I'm going to go with Surtain.
Though,
yeah, I'm going to take the he's a big corner. I think they take Surtain.
Let's go Surtain. And then that would give them with the way James Bradbury played on one side, who was a lockdown. He had great. He was fantastic, and you team him up with Surtain, and all of a sudden you got a really good,
really good defense all together too. I mean,
yes, you do.
Shit, yeah. So
the Eagles, I saw a story, and I was in the Athletic. Michael Lombardi wrote about the mess that the Eagles are, and it's weird that they want to. He was talking about how the worst thing they could have done to win the Super Bowl because they didn't want to. It was like their chest was out. They didn't want to give credit to Peterson. He's gone. They thought it was more the organization, so they're going back and forth about it. Quarterback, wide receiver, linebacker is the need. Cornerback as well. I don't think they could. I mean, like, listen, we all know they're gonna try the Hurts for one season. I think Waddle's still here. Yeah. They go Waddle.
Yeah.
I think they go Waddle. I'm not gonna make it too crazy. I think they're gonna go Waddle here. And then the team that is next on the board, we don't like the Bolts at all, but they could be a possible up and coming young squad. Sean, what are your thoughts about the Los Angeles Chargers of Anaheim?
This one hurts me. I didn't realize when we were doing this that I was going to end up doing anything that had to do with the Los Angeles, whatever Chargers. They have what looks and appears to be a very, very capable, big, sturdy, physical quarterback.
Mobile too.
They have physical, mobile. I mean, you're talking like he's in the same comparison level as Josh Allen, right? A little bit with how he runs the ball in his size and his frame. I'm gonna say that they could trade back as well here. I feel because by what we've gone through, like, and what we've heard, like, there's still quarterback and other potential movement here. But I'm gonna say Christian Darrisaw, offensive line.
Wow.
And I'm trying to keep up with who's on and off, but I'm really looking at it, and I'm like, well, if you have to protect your quarterback, just like Joe Burrow, they both have young quarterbacks that hey, how are they going to work out if you're allowing them? So I think that's what they do here, which is what they should do. He can run, block, and pass protect very well.
Yeah,
that's
good
my
player. Pick. Good. Minnesota, for Monster Mash Ken.
That's a tough one.
It is.
That's a tough one.
Tackle's been their biggest need in the off season. So this could start to run on tackles.
Well, you got these two quarterbacks sitting there because we didn't take Lance or Jones, right? Nobody's taken them yet, right? I know.
Nope. I know. Crazy.
Yeah, I know Cousins is there, and I don't know what's going to happen next year.
He's a statue.
I know that some of the players get frustrated with him. He's a serviceable quarterback.
Absolutely, I think.
But when you have guys sitting there like Trey Lance and Mac Jones, it's going to be hard to pass one of them up, especially with New England picking next, because
that's
you're going to have to make a decision here. And I think I'm going to go with Trey Lance on this one.
Trey Lance.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be in a rush to play either.
That's what I'm saying. You let Cousins play. You put Trey Lance there, and you leave it open there for New England to do some magic. So
Dwayne, you better nail this because your boy James Amato. Come on, you have so much Patriots intel. Come on, man.
James Amato hates the mock drafts, so that's why he shifted to doing only baseball.
I knew I liked them. I hate mock drafts too.
They're fun. They're fun. I think if Mac Jones is in this spot, why not? It just makes sense.
You have to, yeah.
You kind of have to. If our scenario plays out, then it just makes sense. It just makes sense. So I'm not gonna spend too much time on it. Mac Jones, and then the Cardinals pick before the Raiders. One more pick before the Raiders, and all three of us will go what we think of the Raiders will do. Go ahead, Sean.
Okay, so I'm trying to check everything off. Okay, so wow.
So their needs are tight end, and corner. You got it. Okay. You got it.
Okay. Yeah, I got it. I think they're gonna go. Oh well, look at this. A USC name, Dwayne. So they're gonna go a line here. Elijah Vera Tucker.
Yes.
And I think that's
where do you go to school?
He went to USC.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
That's your guy.
But yeah, it's actually perfect the way that aligned. I really think like that's what they have to do. Kyler Murray has so much athletic, gifted ability. That's great. Yes. But at some point, you don't want to you don't want to. He's also such a great passer, as opposed to some other guys that have athletic ability to run. I think you want to open it up to where he can use the gift of his arm a little bit more. He did a lot of things with his legs, scrambling, that were good, but it's not something you want to rely on throughout his young career. So I think here you want to bring in someone to help mend that. So easy pick cool. The way I look at it. Yeah.
Easy pick. Yeah. So let's go to the Raiders here. We know the needs: tackle, guard. It says here tackle, guard, cornerback, and safety. I think it should just be safety first, tackle, whatever, however they do it. Who wants to go first as far as what they think the Raiders are going to do here at 17 if our board stays the way it is? What do you think, Sean?
Oh God,
it's a tough one.
I'm sick of talking about offensive linemen, but Jesus. So Tevin Jenkins.
Tevin Jenkins. So Tevin Jenkins for you. What do you think about it? Ken?
Gosh, if everything kind of shakes down as it goes, I mean, I'm looking at. I'm tempted to go pass rush here.
I would. I'm just saying what I think.
I'm trying to think what they're going to do. They really haven't solved the safety position yet in the offseason. And I'm kind of looking at Morig here. I don't know if it's too early. It might be too early. Farley's another one, but I don't think they go cornerback. I'm Barmore's another one. I think I'm going to go with just the odd position out here. It's either going to be a linebacker and then the Notre Dame kid there, Komora. I don't even know how to say his last name. Koromoa.
Owusu Komora,
yeah. Or it's going to be Morig, and I'm leaning towards Morig.
Okay, so I'm gonna go. I looked at the Raiders as far as their salary cap, and we don't have a defensive tackle signed past this season. So I think Christian Barmore is going to be the guy. I think he does show explosive ability when rushing the passer. The issue is he's on against the run. He gets moved. So I think what you could do, you have Solomon Thomas, you have Irving, you have Quentin, you have Jeffersons, you have Hankins. So ease him in on third downs when you're in that third and long, so we can rush the passer, keep it simple for him. And then he's going to be the guy who they're going to change. They do change. They play cover 3, but he does change the fronts a lot. He does do a lot of different things, and within that in that base, So I think that it's just a base, but he does do some different things there. And I think, just seeing that fact that we won't have a defensive tackle just even signed, and there's nobody there. I think that the first pick might be him. And I think, I think they kind of maneuver their way. And from what I'm hearing and when I was talking to Ryan Holmes, who does the Put on Waivers NFL show with me, he talked about the Raiders really do like Richie Grant, and that they would trade, they'd kind of move those picks around to position themselves to get Richie Grant, to still get him and still get him. And then with this draft being as big as it is, as far as tackles go, maybe a third round pick for BYU kid, or the kid from Eckenberg from Notre Dame to play tackle. So I do think they might get a little nervous if people like getting a run on tackles here. But I think that's the way to go. And I think you got to take a swing somewhere in it. You got to take a swing somewhere in it. And I think Barmore is a guy who he's explosive, man. He really is an explosive player. I mean, he really is an explosive player. It's just that you don't see it all the time. That's the question. It's
so hard. It's so hard because the Bama thing just makes the talent evaluation. There's so many great players in the NFL that played at Bama, but there's so many misses because they were all playing along aside one another in a system. It's just a factory, so that's hard.
And safeties,
I agree. I like both your picks better than mine. I just took an offensive tackle because.
Well, you know, I did forget that we did sign Carl Joseph, so that kind of makes me question. And my whole mentality is when you're picking here, any first round pick, it's got to be somebody that starts day one. And just with all this offseason turnover and all these players that they brought in, like who the hell is going to be a starter? Is it, they brought in some talent. I just don't know what's going to happen here. And I don't think it's going to be I don't think it's going to be cornerback unless one of those names are there, because they use Arnett and Mullen. I just don't see it happening.
No.
I think
first round,
I think that the defensive coordinator, he has his eye on becoming a head coach again, because I think he feels like if I can get the Raiders to play good defense, I can get them. I can do, and I can definitely get another head coaching opportunity, because they've been historically horrible defensively forever. I mean, just forever. I mean, like I remember
like 2 decades.
Do you remember somebody sent me an old clip. Do you remember Stuart Schweiger when he swung the guy? He swung the guy 10 yards up the field instead of tackling him, and he ran in for a touchdown. It was like a 60-yard gain. It's just like it's a mess. So I like Richie Grant a lot. I think, I don't know, some of my drafts they see him going. Safeties always go a little bit later.
Yeah,
they have to walk away with a starting safety though, and it can't be. And if you want to take a flyer on Andre Cisco in the 4th or 5th round, that's fine. But he gets hurt way too much for him to be the starting free safety next year. I think Richie Grant or Morang would be the guy. Morang would be the guy who you would be looking at.
Yeah, I also think we talked about it a little bit before, but post draft, that's when I see them coming back to the table with Richard Sherman.
I think it's going to happen, man. I really do.
I also think Melvin Ingram could be it, because that money is getting lower and lower every time. Every day, every passing day.
Good. After the draft,
perfect. I think it would be a good move for depth as far as that goes.
And depth and somebody that they could wear captain. They can be captains on this defense. So mentor, and that's what we need. And it's such a young, fast defense that they need people out there putting people in position. And I mean, look how Abrams is playing. He's a loose cannon out there, but he has potential. So I hope they go defense, unless on one of these offensive linemen are there that you can't pass up. But other than the offensive linemen, I wouldn't go wide receiver. I would go defense, and you can fill in any of those positions: linebacker, cornerback, safety. Well, cornerback I'm kind of iffy on, like I said, but I don't know. Maybe I'll trade out. That's my hope. If Parsons my number one right there. I'll say it. I hope they fall.
Me too.
Parsons my number one.
I just feel like, I feel like Parsons is that guy who just is a tackling machine. He's a tackling machine. People are saying some things about him. Maybe some issues with off the field, but listen. Let's just be real.
143 missed tackles last year for the Raiders, and they only played 16 games. You do the math.
Yes. couple of things I wanted to discuss here about a couple guys who left the Raiders who got cut, and I think a move is definitely coming. They didn't. I don't think they cut Arden Key and Maurice Hurst for nothing. I think there's a move coming after that, and it wasn't Rasul Douglas, who has depth to that cornerback, the cornerback room. What are your thoughts about Mo Hurst? I think one thing that I get a little annoyed with is like Mo Hurst is a solid guy, but he's not, Reggie White. So let's not act like he is Raider Nation. I mean, the story is good. I mean, work ethic, everything like that. I mean, his story is great, but I think he's solid. He passed through waivers, so that shows you something about how the rest of the league feels about him. Arden Key is talking to the Niners. Yep. So we'll see what happens as far as that goes. What are your thoughts about letting go Arden Key? I know you were a big Arden Key guy, Sean.
Yeah, no, I think that draft. I mean, look at it. You're taking Colton Miller, and the rest is gone. So
yes, the whole thing is gone.
So I'm sorry. I'm kind of changing the context of what you asked me, but yeah, Arden Key and Maurice Hurst were both people that had first round talk before they had different circumstances. Maurice Hurst was because he had a heart issue, similar to not similar to DJ Hayden, but like no one, that's why he dropped. Arden Key was playing out of his mind at LSU, one of the best defensively coached, players that go into the NFL pipeline, but he had a severe injury and sat out a year. So he dropped because of that too. They both dropped. They were good value. It was a 3rd and a 5th round pick, right? Correct me. Key was 3rd.
Yeah, 3rd and 5.
Hurst was 5th. Yeah. So, they fell to your lap and you felt like, hey, we got a good, we'll get back into their high ceiling. Neither happened. So it is what it is. But the Rasul Douglas, I'm glad you brought that up, Dwayne, because that to me shows that they checked another box. So there's no way, even if JC Horn falls at 17, the Raiders aren't taking him. They won't take him. They won't address secondary in the first round. That's the way I feel about it.
No, I think you kind of hit on some really good points. I mean, Mo Hurst is like a fan favorite. How could you not like that guy? Rub the belly. Yeah, rub the belly.
Yeah.
Shout out to Bobby Wasabi. I know that was one of his boys there. But it sucks. But I said it on Twitter, like week 2, you're not going to remember any of these guys, unless they're making plays for another team. But Key, he just couldn't get it together. I don't know. I actually loved the pick out. When they picked him, both Mo Hurst and Key, I was excited. I was super excited. But just because our coaching sucks and our defensive scheme sucks, and we couldn't put it together. Shame on us, and our shame on the Raiders, not us. we're
I just have Chuck Brezhnev back. I mean, all of them been.
Yeah, but we're not gonna miss him.
Okay, go. Yeah.
No, that's it. Just
you guys know Gruden's coached as an NFL head coach for 14 years. You know his record with the Buccaneers and the Raiders are?
They're below 500.
They're the same, right? 56 or something.
57 and 55. Yeah. They're both exact. Talk about mediocre. His team.
Right.
They're
so
exactly.
2 games above 500. Oh, that's right.
Exactly the same. Exactly the same. So I do. So one point I made is that this is for as far as like the players who they've drafted, who we are like, we're saying that they missed on or whatever, like Abram. I'm looking at Farrell. I'm looking at Crosby. Arnett, people like that. They are NFL players.
Yeah.
So what? They're not like guys who like, okay, it's not like Abram would never got drafted. He would have got drafted eventually.
Sure.
How the question is from the text line was, how confident are you that Gus Bradley can get, especially in this offseason, get these guys on the right page to get things going in the right direction defensively. I mean, we're not looking. Nobody's looking for the 85 Bears or the Packers with Reggie White. We're just looking at just a competent defensive unit that I don't have to hold my breath on 3rd and 17.
Well, Go ahead, Ken. You
Okay, so I'll put it this way. I know earlier, Dwayne, you said you hated teams in orange and blue. So I got to throw it back to the Knicks. The Knicks right now are super fun to watch right now. They hadn't been fun to watch since Jeremy Lin, and it's been about almost 10 years. So if the Knicks can do it, the Raiders can do it. I have every confidence that it's going to happen. I think we saw flashes of media. I would kind of say mediocreness on defense. It's just getting it all together. And I think the players that they brought in on free agency, some of these veteran players and, guys like Sherman and Ingram are going to help if they do bring them in. I'll feel a lot more confident. So I think they could be a middle of the pack.
We need Sherman now. We need Sherman.
Top 18 defense, and that's going to help. All we need is 2 or 3 more games to defense to pull through, and I think the offense is there. I think we'll see what happens to the offensive line, but they're really not that much more turnover. So yeah, I feel pretty confident in it. I think starting with letting go of Paul Gunther is a huge step, and that's going to help a lot. And the players that they brought in, so I think Bradley's bringing in who he wants. And Dwayne, you brought a good point. If he wants to be a head coach.
I think that's
a great point.
He took this job, I think, Sean, to be like, hey, this is his opportunity to maybe be a head coach again. I really feel that way because if he turns the Raiders into a competent defense, the problem is he's not going to be there long.
Yeah, no, that's the hard part. But if you're looking at, we had a top 10 offense in the NFL. We were right at the 500 mark. If your defense is at least turnover friendly, you're already moving the needle in the other direction. Gus isn't a big blitzer and these things, but because you put these players in a more simple form and scheme, Abram won't be running around with his head's cut off. You kind of centralize everyone's strengths and let them play. He does have, I would say, conservative defense, but I think it'll pay off because we have a ball control offense. So we're sick of putting up 30 a game and then giving up 33, right? So if you're getting off the field on third down, if you're playing a little bit more discipline, if you're playing a lot of cover 3 zone concepts, you're not going to get a lot of PIs and flags and the things that we've suffered with in the Gunther era. So
disaster.
I think the defense will get better. The head coach thing I didn't even think about, to be honest, because Gus is someone who has personal ties to Gruden. I just thought he's taking a comfortable position, a hard job at that, but a comfortable position. But that's an interesting thing. Maybe he does want to be a head coach again. I don't know. I didn't even think
I think so. I think so. I think it's a distinct possibility because if you turn that defense around and and Yannick goes off for like, God forbid, like double-digit sacks, like 13, 14 sacks. Players are going to want to play in that. I mean, I know that Jalen Ramsey said that he didn't like the defense because he felt like he's playing the same thing all the time. But that same thing all the time got a lot of people in Seattle paid. Like a lot of people in Seattle got paid.
Jackets.
Good point. Good point.
Like as soon as they saw got good, they were like, "Where's that paper at?" You know what I mean? So and they got that paper as far as that goes. Let's see. Looking here, as far as do you feel like Lawson can get replaced by Douglas? Listen, I hope Douglas makes the team because that's my last name, and I'm dying to have a Raider jersey with Douglas on the back. The Raiders drafted a receiver called Damian Douglas. And I was like, just make the team because I want to wear a jersey that says Douglas on the back. That's not my own, but you think that? I mean, Lawson could be, him not being able to be available for 2 games is huge.
I mean, why hold on to it if the camp goes well and if let's just say the first 2 games go well? I mean, and say you don't believe in maybe your offensive line, you're like, okay, we need to be ready to make a move by the trade deadline. We didn't address this right, or we didn't address that right. So he seems he should have been already expendable, but now I think it's, if they see what they want out of Douglas, Sorry, Lawson's is suspended 2 years in a row, back to back, right?
Yeah.
Like what
Yeah.
kind of investment is that? If Gruden held on to Trent Brown through all that, and then he's going to allow Lawson to have a roster spot, then Gruden is completely hypocritical and is a defender, and he doesn't even care about that side of the ball. He's like, do your job. I'm scoring points. So I think it spells, if I'm Lawson, I'm not thinking I might have a job with the Raiders.
Yeah. I mean, well, shouldn't have a job with the Raiders, period, probably. But
yeah, I agree.
As far as that goes, I do think playing. You mentioned Carl Joseph. I think Carl Joseph is going to be. I think they're going to intermingle both of Abram and Joseph. I don't see both of those guys. I don't see it as far as like one playing free safety. I think they're going to draft a free safety. I mean, Nazir Adderley, who plays free safety for the Chargers, is a solid player, right? And he just threw him in. He wants young guys who are range. He likes a rookie in that spot. So that's why I feel good about, like, if they're able to get, and we're a week away from the draft. So hopefully we won't have to talk about it anymore. We can just review who the picks are. But I think that's huge. I'm really looking for a bounce back year from Littleton and Kwiatkowski had a solid year last year. But
stays healthy and build on
all that stuff like that, and then maybe Sean Ken can wear his Tanner Muse jersey.
I'm excited about that, man. I'm excited.
We got it. We got to grill Ken. Tanner's back, and there's this talk out here about him. So I don't know, man. I think he's a special teams war daddy.
That's it.
Maybe he'll be the next Miles Burris for us. You know
what? He with the chin that he has, that chiseled chin and them arms. He's a good-looking dude. I want to rock his jersey, man. I dig it.
Yes. Salary cap. Oh my God. I'm gonna check one more thing before we head out. If you guys have anything else, I just want to check the Raiders salary cap real quick. See what they have left over.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's fluctuating.
Cuts,
I mean, I figure they gotta sign the rookies as well. So we'll have to see what happens as far as that goes. And then we have they got some space, I guess. We're here, but I mean, I do think that Sherman's very pretty vocal. So I think at some point Mark Davis might have to take that thing down, because Sherman is not. Sherman is from the CPT. He's not really having it. He's not really having it. So we'll see about that though. So
that's a good point, man.
Anything else you want to talk about before we head out? Good show by you guys again today.
No, just kind of just touching on that real quick. It's a really good news today as far as that whole thing goes. But the Raiders leave it up to the Raiders to screw it up for everybody. But no, you know what? Just be nice to each other out there in those Twitter streets, man. It's think before you tweet. That's what I'm going to say. Unless you're Sean, think before you tweet.
Take a break. Like, I've taken a break. The only time I'm really on Twitter is when I'm looking at trying to message somebody who, like, the only contact I have with them is that. So I'm taking a little break from Twitter after the draft, and read my shirt a little bit. It's okay. It's okay. I'm not getting
beautiful.
I'm not getting religious. I'm just saying, like, we could all use a little bit of love out there.
All you need
in the world.
Love.
All you need is love. Sean, I'm parting. What you got for me?
I ain't got nothing. Lift each other up.
Yeah, man. Let's go. I agree with that.
Lift each other up. I mean, I just try to. Man, I think the best feelings in life are seeing others around you happy, and I think if people reacted a little bit that way, we could break the systemic structure that absolutely weaponizes how we treat each other. So think with that lens. As we approach the draft, I just think I feel, I don't know. We'll see, man. I'm glad we did this mock draft thing today, because it shows that, minds operate differently, and we'll see what happens in the draft. But I still feel like there's a splash coming. I do have to shout out. Somebody brought up I don't know if you guys watched it. I didn't watch it. Mayock was talking about Trey Lance. Did any of you see that?
No.
I didn't, but someone was like emphatically like, did you hear what he said about Trey Lance? And they love Carr. They love Carr. There's no way if Trey Lance dropped, they're not in play for him. So that's how I feel.
Yeah, I'm not. Let's just, like I said, build the team, and in 2 years, if you want to get rid of him, get rid of him. I'm not gonna say that. Tashawn Reed from The Athletic just tweeted, I thought 420 was supposed to be a relaxing day. I thought that's pretty good. That's pretty good, Tashawn.
Yeah,
that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Go ahead.
That's pretty good.
No, I was gonna say I don't smoke at all, but I appreciate it. You know,
it's pretty good.
Just be chill. You know, everybody's got
and
to
like
chill.
and like so you talk about like systemic stuff, and I'll probably leave it on this. Like I remember in class, and a class we were having a discussion about racism in high school, and everybody was going back and forth. It getting kind of heated, and like some kids who had maybe some controversial racist kind of undertones. I just said to them simply, how would you benefit from hating somebody you don't know? Like, just like if you own a business, like how do you benefit from that? Like you don't, so you don't. So no, it doesn't help us in any way. So let's just it makes no sense. Makes no sense.
Don't like the labels.
On that note, thank you again for joining us here on the Cover 3D Radio podcast, and you'll see us on Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. We'll have what the draft is next week. We'll figure out what we're gonna do for the draft next week. As far as that goes, we might go live or something like that. Who knows? Just instant reactions, stuff like that. We'll figure it out. Our schedules. It's amazing that our schedules work in some way with East Coast.
I'm tired.
I know Ken's ready for bed. It's 10:30.
I love talking Raiders. All right, guys.
The city that never sleeps, right?
All right.
Not